Hey guys, Wade Willis here. In ReZero episode 34, love, 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 love you. Okay, amazing episode. Before I go any further, don't forget to smash that like button like your Garfield going full beast mode. This episode, like I said, amazing. And it started off right where we left off at the tea party. Subaru and Echidna, my main girl, talking it out. He just had that huge confession where he was able to tell her, the only person he's been able to say this to, that he returns by death. So, end of that episode, truly emotional. This one starts off in a little more of a fun, uplifting way. Again, their banter back and forth, super funny. And Subaru finds out that, like, his question is there a limit to the amount of times I can die? And he finds out the answer is no. Well, basically no. So his power exists as long as basically the witch of envy feels strongly about it or wants it to exist. Or so basically that's as long as it can last, which can be never ending. So very good to know. It's not like he has 100 deaths, and if he gets to the 100th one, it's game over, like a video game. So pretty cool. And he asks Echidna too. He's trying to figure out, like, okay, because she said that Destiny is around Subaru, and the witch of envy basically made this so that Destiny is that Subaru will not die. And that Destiny kind of revolves around Subaru. And Subaru's kind of confused by this. And he's like, well, how is this Destiny if, like, Rem and, like, all the, like, I haven't been able to save these people and stuff. And Echidna tells him, well, Destiny is just about you. It's not about these other people that you care about and that you love. She only cares about you. So it's up to you to defy what she has, kind of the parameters she sets as destiny, I guess. So pretty interesting, but it makes sense. And, like, we'll get more into the Witch of Envy more in a little bit. So very interesting. And then Subaru, basically, he's calculating out in his head. He's like, all right, well, sounds like I need to defy destiny then. And Echidna tells him, wow, you bounce back surprisingly quick. And he tells her, well, yeah, usually I have to, like, tape my heart back together and my everything. And he doesn't want to admit he's able to bounce back so quick because he has Echidna to actually open up to. And she knows this, and she's trying to get him to say it, and it's kind of flirty back and forth. Big fan of this, and Echidna is, like, my number one waifu this summer anime season right now, so she's awesome, love her. Then Subaru asks about the rabbit, or I should say, like, rabbits. And I'm not gonna lie, I was completely wrong with this, and you guys probably thought I was an idiot last week. I thought it had something to do with the stone that I'm gonna call it sapphire, but that beast stone, it lit up. Subaru gets basically transported, he wakes up, and then bunnies are in a snow environment around him, basically. So I thought the townspeople or something, or people in the town, turned into the bunnies because of the stone somehow. I was wrong. They're actually one of 3 of the great maw beasts. The whale was one of them. There's a snake or serpent one also. These bunnies are a completely other one, and they were made by the Witch of Gluttony. It's important to note with these bunnies, they're exponentially harder to defeat than the whale because they reproduce, like, super quick, infinitely almost. Now, which makes sense because bunnies are known for reproducing super quickly. Kind of smart. So Subaru's kind of, like, calculating things out. Okay, basically he has 4 days to deal with the bunnies and save the people in the mansion. Going to be a difficult feat for basically anyone to do. and Subaru's going to have to do this. So he has no idea how to deal with these bunnies, though. And then we find out that Echidna has the other witches, other than the Witch of Envy. Basically, I may be taking this the wrong way, but basically their souls or the essence of them, maybe it's actually them, but they reside within her. So she could call them out, and she says, hey, I can bring out Daphne, the Witch of Gluttony, but I don't know if that's the best idea. She's basically cray-cray. If I do bring her out, you can't don't let her touch you. Don't make eye contact with her, and don't take her out of her binds. All right, fair enough. A bit frightening. So she's like, okay, basically Echidna disappears. Then this little girl, and I'm not going to lie, I thought it was Gluttony at first, but then I'm looking at it and I'm like, where are the restraints? And I was like worried, like, oh shoot, why is she not restrained? This is already bad. Now, it ends up not being Gluttony. It's Typhon, who is the Witch of Pride. Now, issues here. I don't think Subaru knew. He knows this is another witch, I think. I don't know if he knew for sure that it was not Gluttony, but come on, dude, you know not to touch. You're told not to touch one of the witches. Probably good to not touch another one. But I don't know, maybe, call me old-fashioned, whatever. She asks him to touch her hand. Then she takes off his arm. He feels no pain, and she's kind of like, oh, you're actually not like a sinner. You're not a bad person. Cool, but you took his arm off. And then he basically shatters like Humpty Dumpty. Minerva, the sexy witch of wrath. Minerva's hot, whatever. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But Minerva basically saves him from Typhon. And then she's like at one point she's like, yeah, well, says something, and she's like, yeah, well, I'll heal everyone. And Subaru's like, you're acting like that's a threat that you're saying you're going to heal everyone. So I'm excited. I hope she is kind of involved. Probably won't be this next part of the season, or the end of this beginning part of the season. Maybe round 2. But she seems really interesting and quirky. I'm excited for her to be in the show. Hopefully a lot more eventually. Then Daphne comes out, basically like in a weird coffin, like tied up, like some BDSM stuff, got her eyes blindfolded. With the colors and the blindfold and everything and the chains, it really reminded me of Medusa in the Fate Stay Night series, because it's all purple and stuff. She's using the chains, blindfolded. I don't know, did anyone else think that too? Maybe it's just me. And we find out, which I kind of already assumed this, because way back in the first Tea Party, Echidna kind of talks through all the different witches and says that Gluttony created the whale, so because it's so much food, so that people don't go hungry, to help deal with starvation. Same idea behind the rabbits. Basically, it's an infinite resource, and they're drawn to anything living, and anything that is living that isn't them is a source of food for them. So kind of scary. They have one singular mind, though, which is very helpful, and they're attracted by mana. So Gluttony actually offers all this information to him, and Subaru's kind of surprised. She's like, yeah, well, why would I it's not fair if I make these things and I don't offer a solution for them. And yeah, Subaru doesn't touch her because he's not completely stupid at this point. He already shattered. And then she disappears. Then Echidna tells Subaru that each time he calls on her, it's going to become more difficult. She has agreed that she's not going to take away his memory. All that she has to do for him to keep his memory is she kind of like touches that handkerchief he got And she's like, yeah, there was a lot of love with this. So, and she mentioned something with it dealing with meddling too. So I'm not sure how it is meddling, but I think that there were some serious ramifications of this though, and we'll get to that in a second. And all Subaru has to do to call on Akina is he has to basically yell, I want to know. Each time he goes to a tea party, it's going to become more difficult. Now he will also see her when he does trials. So, and it's important to note, basically Subaru agrees that he's going to go through and do the trials because Amelia is not capable of doing it, especially in the time limit. And Akina also tells him, like, as he's basically disappearing, if you come back for the tea party a third time, there's something I need to tell you. I don't know about you guys, but I want to know what that is. We're going to have to wait to find out. Subaru gets transported, wakes up after he's completed the trial again. Amelia's gone, though. And he's kind of like, what the hell was I delayed? What's going on here? He goes outside and there's all this darkness everywhere. And he's kind of confused. Now, personally, I thought since he had agreed to like go through the trials, I thought this was the start of the second trial. It would be kind of interesting if it is, but I'm positive it is not. Then this darkness starts to consume him. He realizes it's the Witch of Envy, and she's just basically telling him, I love you, I love you, I love you. And he's having all these flashes to people that are girls that also love him. Now, this is, I think, very important because I think since she's a Witch of Envy, it would make sense that she is envious of the people that Subaru is shown, love and compassion to. And she, I feel like, is in love with Subaru, and I think that we're going to find out why Subaru is kind of in a question I've had for a while. And I guess this is just me looking back. He does have like the flashback where he's dealing with all the family stuff, but he was a shed of, what did she see in this time period that made her, I think, fall in love with him? Who knows? So we're going to find this out eventually. Otherwise, it would be the most random show ever if we don't find out why she was like that, or it's a random reason. But whatever. So he's kind of just getting consumed by her. And then Garfield comes in for the save. Not going to lie, I was a bit surprised. And everything with Garfield in this season is extremely confusing because two episodes ago, he is trying to kill everyone, slices Otto in half, almost kills, he almost killed Subaru, killed a bunch of townspeople, and then now he's saving Subaru, and Subaru's so thrown off by it, he's like, I can't believe you came to save me, and Garfield's like, why? Like, he's like thrown off. And then they notice that the Witch of Envy is going off basically towards the mansion, Roswaal's mansion. And Subaru's super worried about this because he's thinking about, Rem and the girls over there, like they're screwed if Envy gets over there. Now, then there's the credits. Now, this show, it is so important to keep watching after the credits because it flashes to Roswaal and he's basically saying, like, I'll follow you wherever, like, you go into hell, like, I'll live in hell. I'm paraphrasing. Then he says, try not to make any mistakes next time, Subaru. And he's holding a book that looks very similar, if it's not the exact same book that Beatrice is holding, that tells the future. And then he says, says Natsuki Subaru. So, one of the most important things we've learned, Roswaal does know that Subaru's returning by death. If it makes complete sense. And if that book is the same as Beatrice's book that tells the future, it must, I'm thinking it kind of tells a story too, so maybe it's a continuous timeline. It's not like it tells the future and then everything in the past is erased. It must leave things from the past and they can see that Subaru's going through all of these things. And it makes sense based on how like Beatrice and Roswaal act towards him. And I said a few episodes ago that I thought Roswaal knew that Subaru was returning by death. It would only make sense to how he acts towards him. Like, why would he put Amelia in his hands and act the way he did if he cares about Amelia? And why did he have so much faith in Subaru? It makes sense that now that he knows that he returns by death. So, and then he looks like he basically gets consumed by the darkness of the Witch of Envy. Wow. Okay, so it looks like we're probably going to have to restart again. Can the Witch of Envy see? There's so many questions I have. Can she see everything that's going on at the tea party? Could she smell, or maybe she sensed the Echidna like on the handkerchief, and Echidna was like, I'm meddling. Maybe the Witch of Envy got super pissed about that, noticed that, and she's just going ham, and hopefully it can, I mean, I'm guessing we're going to have to go back again, but maybe they're just getting possessed. I don't know. We're unsure of what this darkness does. Now, I will say, when it looks like Envy was taking over Subaru, I don't think Envy is literally there. I think it's some type of spell or summoning thing. Like, it did look like her and everything and took her form. But I don't think there's any way that Garfield could have just come down there and punched her away like that, especially when he's not in his full beast form. I don't think that there would be a way for him to defend her with how powerful she is. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, what did you guys think about the episode? It was pretty crazy overall. Yeah, again, might have been my favorite episode of the season. I keep saying this every time, and I'm honestly liking this season even better than the first season. But yeah, what did you guys think?
Hey guys, this is Wade Willis. Thanks for watching my video. Here's 2 other videos I think you might like, and don't forget to subscribe to my page.